Hey everyone, I am back. I am safe and I'm here to talk some soccer with you, I guess, and whatever else we can think of. We're going to definitely be here to try and help walk you through these crazy times that we are currently going through as Americans and as people of this world. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Towards the near post, the flick, and it's in! Darwin Jones with the response for Orange County. And it is a massive one off the goal, dominant the last 10.
Forrester in the middle now, gets around a few defenders. Forrester with the outside right foot. What a strike by Harry Forrester. It's the opening goal for Orange County. He's looking for you. Heads it down, back post, opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, presented by Roughneck Scarves and Icarus FC. We are the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I'm with you almost each and every episode as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Joining me as he does each and every episode. Actually, I think now he has more episodes under his belt than I do. And thanks for covering for me last week. That's Dylan from Counterline Coalition. Dylan, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling well. As far as I know, to my knowledge, I have not been exposed, but I'm sheltering in place anyway. And yeah, I feel really great being the longest serving member of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast in episodes now. So apologies to everyone for the garbage that was last week. Alan and I really tried. But hey, now we have a lot of people, so it's going to be a good time.
And I sort of sprung it on Dylan and Alan. I actually sort of presented, we can skip a week if it's too difficult. And Dylan decided to say, nope, we need to do it. We just had the first match of the season. I'll handle all the stuff that you do, Ray. I'll try and do my best. And props to Dylan for doing what he did. He actually did a really good job there on that. Also, as always, we got Alan down in San Diego. Alan, how are you doing, man?
Great. That is all. I'm doing great.
Great. That is all. Also, we've got someone that's been on our show quite a few times. It's almost like he is an honorary member of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. He's definitely now outpaced John Macaluso, and that's Bradley Polanski up there in Reno. How you doing, Bradley?
I'm doing well. I sheltered in place today, but technically I'm an essential employee, so we'll see how that goes.
I appreciate you coming on. I think there's going to be a lot more of these collaborations between podcasts during this downtime as we're trying to figure out what we can do. I know you were joking, Bradley, about maybe becoming a cooking show here and there as we try and do this stuff. One other person I want to introduce, and it's going to be his first time joining us here on the podcast. When we decided to go keep things going, I wanted to reach out and find someone related to Orange County Soccer Club that can talk to us. And that's one of the newest members of your team. That's Rob Kiernan. Rob, can you hear us?
I am. How are you guys? You okay?
Yeah, no, we got you. Perfect. And I always have to ask this because I know on the press release, they said your name is Rob, but I do see sometimes here and about people say Robbie. What is your preferred first name?
I get a lot of stick for this, but it's definitely Robbie. I think it has a nicer little ring to it, but I seem to get a bit of stick from everyone else back home. But yeah, I think we're going to stick with Robbie now. New chapter, so new name.
All right, perfect. We will go with Robbie whenever we reference you. At least we'll try to remember that. Sometimes I'm very bad for the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I mess things up. But we'll definitely try and go with Robbie there. First of all, thanks for taking some time and joining us here on the podcast. I know things are probably a bit crazy for you and for the team as a whole. How have you been holding up with all this craziness going on?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we had earlier. No, listen, it's been a little bit of a shock to us all, especially the new guys walking in. It's all sort of come as a little bit of a surprise that we wouldn't be in training every day and building our season. But actually maybe it gives us a bit more time to gel and hopefully bit more time on the training field altogether before the games kick off again. I suppose we're just in the same position as everyone else, just sort of waiting for the all clear, and then it's a case of getting fit and getting sharp, and maybe getting some practice games in before we resume play.
No, definitely get that. It's been crazy for everyone. I know we heard Bradley just mention that he's sort of sheltered in place, but he's also an essential employee wherever it is that he works. I've now had to remote work from home. I know for soccer, it's hard to do that unless you guys decide to jump on, virtual and go like FIFA 20 or something like that and start playing some matches that way. But let's talk about just you as a player. How did you get started with soccer? Can you share like maybe your earliest memories of the sport, or as you probably call it, football?
Yeah. To be honest with you, it was my first memory of life. I suppose I was very young when I started. I actually joined Watford's academy at 6 years old. There wasn't actually a team for me at that age, so I was playing with the under 10s because I was the youngest it actually went to. And then I saw myself sort of progress through that academy and into the first team. And then I sort of found myself on the road quite a lot. I moved up north at quite a young age, north of England, to Wigan Athletic, and then tried to break in there. Was a young defender, so I knew it was always going to be quite tough. So I found myself knocking on the manager's door and asking, can I go on loan? Can I go and play in someone's first team? Because I'm desperate for that opportunity. And then from there, I managed to sort of stay at a sort of high level in the Championship. Went to Birmingham on loan, and then I moved up to Rangers in Scotland. And then I had opportunity 8-9 years after moving up north. I thought, it's time for me to sort of go back home. I got offered a contract with Southend United, who were in League One at the time, but we had real prospects of going up. We had a good squad, but unfortunately that never materialised, and actually we didn't do that well at all. And then I had a sort of an injury period where I was out of the game for a long time with my knees. So I managed to get back after that, and the time came where I thought, personally I feel like I want to go and create a new life for myself, a new environment. And when the interest here, came to surface, it was a no-brainer for me. And actually, although it's not been a great start in terms of football, I'm very, very happy in the decision I've made, and everyone's been great to me, and I feel like I can really progress here and hopefully be part of something that goes forward and improves the team, I hope. So I'm really looking forward to it. Just want to get back into routine, I suppose.
Oh, no, we're definitely looking forward to it also. And after that one match that we got to see of you out there, you were probably one of the shining moments or shining players out there on the pitch for Orange County. I know, speaking to a lot of the fans, a lot of them looked at you. You were very solid back there, and you were a big reason why Orange County was able to keep a clean sheet on that. What I guess intrigued you about coming out to Orange County? I know probably there's not much to be said, or there's probably not a lot of coverage in Europe or Great Britain or England of this club. What is it that that brought you here?
If I'm totally honest with you, the challenge of coming to a new place, a new environment, where I could maybe help some of the young lads who maybe haven't had the experience that maybe I've had back in the UK, but also to just give myself a new challenge, a fresh start. I've been playing football in England for since I was 16, and I felt like a new chapter was on the horizon, and I was desperate to make it happen. So, I spoke to the manager and the staff in the background, and had a link with Harry Forrester, who had a big part in helping me and just put me in touch with the right people at the time. And I remember Peter Nugent, who works at the club, he came to watch me play against Bolton, and from there we had some good contact, and it was just a case of manoeuvring myself out of my current club, and the position they were in financially wasn't great. So I knew that maybe if I could offload my sort of wages onto that club, there might be a chance that they'd let me leave earlier than expected. And they were good to me in terms of we shook hands, and it was a case of, look, good luck with yourself, and thanks for everything, and we won't stand in your way. But for me, it was just a chance to apply my trade in a new country, but also in a club where I felt like they really want to have a go, and they really do want to build, and they really want to take the club forward. I know that everyone in the backroom staff works tirelessly, every day to see how well we can improve. And I know it's probably not where at the level it wants to be, and they openly say that, but I want to be a big part of that, and I want to help drive it forward as well, on and off the pitch.
Perfect. I'm going to hand it off. Alan, do you have any questions for Robbie?
Yeah, I think one of the questions we're always curious about is kind of level of play between kind of what goes on here and what it's a debate we like to have a lot. But as someone who has experienced some of the play in the UK with Rangers and now coming out of the USL,
Hmm.
kind of explain some of the differences in playing style, I guess, and kind of
Yeah, I
level.
mean, one thing that I've really liked, and if you don't get it a lot, especially in the level that I've been at, most recently, is there's a lot of technical players here. There's a lot of technical teams that want to play football on the ground, as opposed to probably what I'm used to back home, where it's a lot more physical. Balls are just in the air a lot, and it's who can head it the most and who can, keep clean sheets by being ugly at times. But here, it seems like people want to play the right way, which is very attractive for every footballer across. If you asked footballers up and down the country, in this country and probably Europe, what football would you like to play? And that would be, passing football, trying to build from the back and playing it, how it should be on the floor. I suppose what I've been used to is the complete opposite. It's, who can have the biggest front man, the biggest target man, who can hold the ball up and create a fight and, work off the scraps. And it is ugly football at times. There's no denying it. And one thing I've definitely seen here is from the clips I've been watching on other teams and the training that we're doing and the style of play that the gaffer wants to implement. It's definitely a football team as opposed to a long ball team that we probably usually find in the UK. So that'd be definitely a big thing. Also, I didn't realise how good these guys would be technically. I see a lot of the USL boys. Aspiring to be, the next level at MLS. But I feel like these guys, these young lads especially, they've got a real good chance because technically they're very good. And I also feel like they're a lot more advanced physically in terms of their, just body strength at a young age. I see a lot of these young lads who are, early teens who are probably stronger than a lot of the lads that I've actually been with in changing rooms that are playing up and down the league in their first team. So I feel like that's definitely a big thing. Apart from that, it is similar in its own ways, and then it does have its differences. It's hard to really judge so far because I only have had one game, but I can definitely feel that there's a lot more technical aspect involved, and guys are trying to play the nice way. So yeah, I mean, so far it's been interesting to see, but I think I'll be able to give you a bit more of a detailed review at the end of the season, maybe when I have a real good variety of teams playing home and away.
Let me throw it over to you, Dylan. Do you have a question for Robbie?
Yeah, and I'm gonna get crucified for this, so my apologies. You can blame any number of your teammates for this one, but would you like to sing Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber's "I Don't Care" for us?
Do you know what? I thought I had it in the bag. My first day, and I thought I've got this. And then I actually stood up on the chair. I had my music playing in the background, and I actually didn't deliver as well as I thought I would. So I think I'll leave that. I'll leave that one tonight. But maybe if I get a few rehearsals in, I might be able to redeem myself.
Well, we have a few weeks off.
I will say this. Yeah, your teammates definitely let Dylan and I know when we were at the season ticket holders events exactly how that sort of went. And I think once we found out, we started talking to some of the other teammates.
Yeah, I think I'll leave that one for them to ridicule me with.
And let me ask you this, because I know you had mentioned that maybe potentially you're looking at a future after playing on the field, maybe getting into coaching and stuff of that. Is that something you're looking at maybe taking back home, or maybe staying out here, sort of like what Richard Chaplow has done and staying out in the States and coaching in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely like to do that out here. I'd love to give that a real go after my days playing. I don't think that's going to be anytime soon, so I feel like I've got years ahead of me. But, I'm always learning, always asking questions. Back home, I actually had a small training sort of academy where we took young kids that were, just not quite at that level of academy boys, but were very close. And we tried to bridge that gap with them by, taking technical sessions and really working on their weaknesses. And that's something that I'd like to do over here as well. So, I'd definitely like to consider myself to be, approachable by these young lads. Come and ask me things. Come and, I was you. I was that young boy that was trying to break in, and I had my weaknesses, and I asked the older lads. We come do 10, 15 minutes with me after training. Will you work on my heading? Will you work on my clearances? Will you work on my, decision making under pressure? And all these things that, you've got to go and ask, because ultimately, the older guys have done it. We've all been in the same position. We're all in the same boat. And I'd like to think that maybe, my help, will help some young lads. So definitely I'd like to give it a go, and got some badges back home that we do as a scholar, and I'd like to extend those out here. And I spoke to Chappie recently, and he flew over to Florida recently to complete another license. So yeah, I'd definitely like to give it a go and see where it takes me.
No, that definitely would be cool. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of young soccer players that just need the proper coaching. I coach a youth team, and I'm always trying to teach them the right way to play, as opposed to some of the other options that you have around here.
Yeah,
I want to throw it over to Bradley. He's been sitting quietly. I don't know if you have a question here for Robbie. Just Robbie, Bradley is a podcast host for one of our rival teams up there in Reno, but they've become really good friends with us. We've interacted with them quite a bit since we've started this thing. Bradley, you have anything for Robbie?
Yeah, I got a quick little question. The experience of, I'm sure, being on the road in England and Scotland is a lot different than being on the road in America, and I know you haven't really gotten the chance to go on many road trips up here. But how do you prepare differently for one of those, almost halfway across the country trips for Texas, differently than you do in England, where it's like a couple hours drive?
Yeah, I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I have no knowledge of how I'm going to be feeling just yet, because I know that there's time zones, there's altitudes, there's different heats, there's everything to consider. But I suppose for me, all of that comes, as part of the job. But I feel like these guys, and myself hopefully included, are professional enough just to think, look, okay, the preparation might be not, as perfect as I'd like it. Maybe I am feeling a bit tired, but that adrenaline you get when that whistle goes, and like, okay, it's work time. Let's just do what I've got to do, and everything else, can just, stay on the back burner for a little bit. I might be tired, I might be a little bit hot, but this might, this 90 minutes is all I really care about, because I've been working on it all week leading up to it. So, listen, I might struggle. I'm not going to sit here and think I'm invincible. Of course I'm not, but I'd like to think that, when it comes to work time and mentally, I feel like I've probably done enough, traveling my time to, been in situations I'm not quite comfortable, but hopefully that'll just sort of be, part and parcel of it, and I can excel still. So, listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be, I'm sure it's frustrating at times, missing flights, or flights getting cancelled or delayed, and it's all that sort of stuff that comes with it. But like I said, hopefully I'll be professional enough just to get through all that and do the business on the pitch.
And what I want to do is I want to ask you this question. This is for Dylan's upcoming best-selling novel on how to cook vegetables from soccer players or football players. What's your favorite vegetable, and how do you like to prepare it?
Okay, so I'm going to go for the roasted asparagus. I'm going to get my chopping board out. I'm going to season it, salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of garlic salt, and then a nice bit of brushed olive oil on, and then just 12 to 15 minutes, just nicely roasted. And that's a little favourite of mine, to be honest.
Do you have roommates?
Hello?
Do you have roommates?
Oh, do I have roommates? No.
Yeah, okay, I figured.
What was that question, Dylan?
Oh, I think we all, someone's given a roasted asparagus recipe. I think we all know what's following.
But yeah, no, it's, you can't go wrong with roasted asparagus. That's probably one of my favorites as well. And actually my two kids, that's, 7 and 9, that's one of their favorite vegetables to eat is roasted asparagus. So definitely a good pick there. Really quick before we let you go, Robbie, is there any other information or anything else you want to share with our listeners as far as maybe? Yeah, I would just like to say, apart from my awful singing and my asparagus choice, I would just like to say, listen, since I've been here, everyone's been good as gold, not just to me, but to all the young lads that have come in and walked through the door. And I really do feel like it's a place where everyone's looking after each other, and it's a real family vibe. So just from my personal thank you, I'd like to just say we do really appreciate everything that everyone's doing for us, and nothing seems to be too much of an ask for everyone, and it really does make a difference to us all. So a genuine thank you for that, and hopefully we can do the business on the pitch and make this one a real good go. So hopefully I can be part of that as well. So in advance, I'd like to say thanks. Oh, definitely. And we want to say thank you for you taking some time this evening to jump on the podcast with us. Like I said,
Yeah, for
we just sort
sure.
of reached out to you
Anytime.
last minute, said, "Hey, Robbie, can you join us? We need someone," and you were more than welcome to do so. So I or more than willing to do so. So I appreciate that. And hopefully, once we get the season rolling again, the fans will get a chance to see you and the rest of the guys shine. This is where I'd like to say you can watch Robbie Kiernan and the rest of the boys at our next match, but unfortunately at this point I'm not able to say that. So once again, thank you for taking some time this evening to speak with us, and best of luck to you once the season gets rolling. Best of luck to a great season here in the States.
No, great. Thanks so much, Jen. Thanks for your time as well, and I'll hopefully speak soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's Robbie Kiernan, defender for your Orange County Soccer Club, taking time out of his Tuesday evening. It's St. Patty's Day. I don't know if he typically would celebrate that. I know the social media for Orange County Soccer Club went and tweeted a happy St. Patty's Day, and there was a lot of pushback from some of the newer fans that maybe come from that partnership with Rangers. Let me just say this: if any of you are listening that are Rangers fans and maybe are a little frustrated by that type of tweet, here in America, what St. Patty's Day means is basically an excuse to drink and maybe eat some corned beef and cabbage and potatoes. And that's about it. We don't know anything about what St. Patty's Day represents other than really, I mean, it's this and Cinco de Mayo for US is all about just drinking and eating some ethnic foods that aren't your staple here in America. So don't get upset, Rangers fans, if you hear us talking about St. Patty's or anything like that. It's just a reason or excuse to drink. That was a pretty awesome interview there. Again, I appreciate Robbie for jumping on here and taking some time to speak with us. Anytime a player for the club or a coach for the club comes on and shares some of their time on this earth with us, it's always pretty awesome. Like I said, Robbie was probably a shining point for this team in that first match. Correct, Dylan?
Yeah, and I think his leadership was really evident, and he's not. I mean, he's an experienced player, but he's not like the slow Joshua Evald where he's going to get torched by dudes, some of the faster dudes in this league. I mean, he's still physically right there with them, and he's got that leadership, and he's not crazy like Alex Cronali. So
I think his positioning was very,
it's
very
incredible.
Good in that match.
Yeah, I mean, he can push up a little bit more. He's a really good ball playing option, and I don't think we've really had that since we had Thomas Yule Nielsen a couple years ago. No offense to Walker Hume.
I was almost going to jump to you really quick in the middle of that interview, Bradley, when he's talking about like the physicality out in England. I'm like, probably going to be ready for a match against Las Vegas Lights, because that's pretty much the way they play, right? They just like to push and shove and knock you to the ground. They don't really play that, I guess, technical style that most of these U.S. Clubs play, right?
I don't like talking about those brutes.
He's like, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah,
well, I mean, they have to do all these gimmicks, but
they just
I guess one of the benefits.
I just think they just try to create chaos and just try to live in that chaos. And if they win a game, great. If they draw a game, great. But they just try to. It doesn't seem like there's a tactical approach. It's just we're going to wreak havoc, and hopefully that puts you off enough that we can get some points.
And, I guess one of the benefits of this postponement of the season is it probably will affect that midnight match that was so dreaded by at least a lot of the Orange County fans. I don't know, Bradley, I want to get your opinion on that, because I know you don't want to talk about this team, but what were your thoughts when you saw that Las Vegas was trying to do a midnight match at Cashman Stadium?
I was actually more concerned about your guys' thoughts, because I know that a lot of your guys' fans are like, 5, 6, 7, 8, soccer kids.
Dylan, he's calling you out, man.
No, my honest to everything thoughts about it is, I guess it's Vegas, and that's not over the top. Midnight match, sure, it's kind of like odd and weird, but that's not too over the top. It just is weird, because I know you guys, when you had it on the schedule, you had that weird Wednesday game right before it. But it's not, I don't know, they just do so many more worse things that require me to comment. 17 different jerseys, betting on your jerseys, or putting a bid in for the highest winning jersey gets designed. It doesn't matter what it is. On
Did
their
you put a
article,
design
they
in for
said,
that?
I was just getting to that. On their article, it says if you're a Reno fan, you're probably too stupid to come up with with a thing. It says that, like, honest to God, in the article that they posted, and I'm just sitting here like, is that really the team that you have? Is that what you want to show your fans? Is that's how you're going to talk to your rivals? Don't
You
even
guys all
bring
have
it up.
Nevada educations, so I mean, pot calling kettle, right?
I'm a
Hey,
California.
they have
educated kid.
UNLV, buddy. They have UNLV.
Fun
Is that
love?
supposed to mean something?
I don't know.
No, that means nothing.
Does Alan have something good? He leaned forward. I think he's got no.
I mean, it's.
I mean, he's the only one that he's the only one that. Well, I guess you were there too, Dylan. But you and Alan were the only ones that really got to watch Las Vegas live this season so far. So
It was a wonder goal, and all the rest of the shots were like from
Oh my god, they're
30,
so bad.
25, 30 yards out. It was like they were just trying to take some shots early, and hopefully one of them or two of them go in.
They'll score one of those. That's the one they're going to score this season, and they're never going to do that again.
I mean, they have like one talented guy who can shoot from the outside or from outside the box. And I think maybe they're like, well, if he just takes like 10 of those a game, one of them will go in. And then like, we might get some draws at 1-1. The only exciting part of that match was like what was going on off the pitch, I think, for a lot of the match. So I didn't even notice Charlie Adams scored. That's how much I was paying attention to the game on the pitch when it was live. I had to go back and watch it again. Unfortunately.
you're boring Bradley there, Alan.
Sorry.
It's
I mean,
been a
we're talking about
long
Vegas.
day.
Vegas is
Yeah.
boring.
That's unironically true.
So-
No, it's been a long day. I'm sorry.
No, let's sort of switch topics here because I don't want to talk too much about Vegas on our podcast. But we got to sort of talk about this whole craziness going on in America, in sports, in just world, right? We talked about it. Bradley, you mentioned you were sort of self-quarantined, or not self-quarantined, but what did you say? You were staying
stayed at
away
home.
from the public today. There you go. You stayed at home. I know. I believe Alan is currently not working in his typical fashion. I've been remoting in this week. We started it. So I'm trying to figure out. Here's the fun thing. I run off a Chromebook. I work at University of California, Irvine, and there's no like proper way set up to VPN from a Chromebook into UC Irvine. So I've been trying to figure out how to get that going. I actually, my IT couldn't figure it out. I'm the one that actually figured out how to get it all connected and access the files I needed to. So props to me. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. Dylan, I think, is still doing some things. I guess I saw him tweeting about some sports, college, junior college, community college sports.
Nope.
Recently, but I'm sure that's all stopping also, right, Dylan?
Yeah, my school's all online now.
As is UCI.
And is every other public school, I think. And then, of course, when you work in sports and there's a pandemic that cancels all the sports, it also means you don't have any work to do. So, yeah, now most of my time is spent writing articles about coronavirus. I'm so over it, guys.
Who? For what?
It's been 3 days for school.
Well, let me say this, though.
Now's a great time to pause the podcast and wash your hands.
6 feet distance. Luckily we do this thing remotely, so I think we all are within that 6 feet, 6 feet of distance.
Oh, no, I'm just outside your garage, right?
I'm still about 6 feet from the door, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Let's do this. Yeah, it's weird. And I think a lot of this is what's pretty interesting is no sports on TV. So, I mean, literally no sports. I mean, we can't, unless you want to go watch replays and stuff, which I guess with technology, you can do that now. You can go on ESPN Plus and watch all of last season's matches from the USL championship season, which maybe I think a lot of us are going to start doing.
It's painful enough. Just do 2018.
But I like this camaraderie from a lot of the USL podcasts. I'm sure there's a lot of soccer podcasts around the world that are thinking this, but we all started communicating like, what are we going to do? Are we going to go on hiatus too, or are we going to keep going? I know, speaking with Alan, the Fairweather Pod, they're planning on pushing through as best they can. I think Bradley, up there in Reno, you guys are going to try and push through as much as you can. You're looking at doing some stuff, some interesting things. I know the USL memes account was trying to start some sort of esports FIFA 20 with a representation from all the USL championship teams. I think they're still struggling. And I don't think they're ever going to find every single team, because you're never going to find a Los Dos representative to play on either Xbox or PS4.
Get the guy who threw a beer can on the field in Phoenix. He was a Los Dos fan, allegedly.
Was he? But I doubt
he was throwing his controller into the TV every time he concedes.
But I mean, I think everyone's trying to come up with things. I mean, we've committed to still trying to do this. Even if you think of it, I mean, with the way things are going, here in Orange County, everyone's pretty much locked down. The government said no, public or private gatherings of any kind, unless it's your household gathering. So literally, if Dylan wanted to drive his motorcycle down here and join me for this podcast, we technically would be breaking the law. We could technically get imprisoned or fined for doing that, because it would be a gathering of some sort other than our household. So we're going to do our best to try and keep pushing along, create a distraction, just be an outlet for those of you that are missing sports, that have nothing better to do than listen to our amazing voices each and every week. We're going to continue doing it. We're going to figure out topics. We're going to figure out how to do this. If the FIFA 20 league somehow breaks through, I'm going to find a way to stream at least the games I'm playing on. I might even ask Dylan and or Alan to jump on, and they can do the play-by-play instead of the voices you hear in FIFA 20.
Oh my God.
We'll find a way to have fun with it. Hey, you know what's funny is I even reached out to Mike Watts to see if he would be willing to jump on that. I don't know if he quite can. He probably has the time, but he mentioned it might not go so well in the household. So, but we're going to try and keep things fun, keep things going. I know, Bradley, you're trying to put together something as well. You want to let our listeners know. I think you already shared with your listeners, but let our listeners know as well.
Yeah. So we up here in Reno, specifically Matt Rafferty, myself, and John Macaluso and Reno 1868 Weekly, do not necessarily play FIFA. Our game of choice is Rocket League. So we're looking at doing kind of the same thing. Rocket League is a video game with, instead of humans, it's cars kicking a soccer ball or bumping into a soccer ball. Yeah. And so our goal is to do, our goal is to try to do the same thing, but with Rocket League, and looking to get anybody from most teams in the league. I don't know how expansive we're looking at doing. We're not looking at the whole thing, but we're starting at least with BGN. Hopefully that gets us through the first 30 days of this.
What are your thoughts, Dylan? Are you going to jump on that league?
Yeah, and I'm obviously excited. I got very little to do now that sports are canceled. Like, most of my work and my schoolwork is non-existent at this point. So now I have all this time to play games. And thankfully, I'm one of those people that doesn't have much of a life, and the majority of my friends do not live near me. So if I'm usually playing video games anyway, because that's how I interact with them. And this is going to be, it's kind of like a sad loser's paradise, really.
Add me.
We already are friends. We've played Rocket League before.
Have we? Oh.
He forgot, Dylan. That's how bad you were.
No, that's how bad I am.
Oof.
Yeah.
I can't aerial for anything.
Well, let me say this, right? So, and to step away from Rocket League really quick, this upcoming weekend would have been the match that the San Diego Loyal traveled up to Orange County to play Orange County. I'm going to call us out publicly here on our podcast, Alan. Let's do a match at game time. Maybe best 2 out of 3. You could be Liverpool if you want. We'll go on to FIFA. Dylan could call the play-by-play. We'll stream it live. What do you think, Alan?
I mean, you're probably gonna win, because I always cheat. I turn the opponent down to 48 instead of 50.
No. Here's what we'll do to make it fun. We will do no rules FIFA. So we'll turn off all the rules, and you could go if you want a slide tackle from behind, it's all good, man. We could throw it that way to make it more fun, and I'm sure Dylan will have a blast trying to call that match.
I will. Your rosters are due an hour before game time.
I am
lineup
happy to
sheet.
join in on this one.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Please.
Dylan and Bradley can be our play-by-plays for that match, and me and Alan will just do a rival match.
We'll be
Alan
6 feet apart in the virtual gantry.
Alan will represent San Diego Loyal playing as Liverpool, and I will represent Orange County playing as Tottenham, and we'll see who wins the match. You ready for it, Alan? You down for it?
Sure. I mean,
Why'd you just handicap yourself, Ray?
What's up?
Why did you just handicap yourself?
I got to give Alan a chance. I mean, he plays FIFA like once every 30 days or something.
Like if that.
Now, if it was Football Manager, he would whip my butt. But this is a FIFA 20.
We have been playing Cuphead a lot lately, so I'll have to do some tune-up. I'll do some preseason matches. I am definitely not match fit on FIFA for sure.
Remember to turn those rules off. That's going to be our thing. No rules.
Do you have FIFA 19? What do you have?
I have 19. If you want to go 19, that's when Tottenham was better anyways.
I don't have 20. I've been waiting to get 20, but I'm the guy who buys video games like 3 years afterwards when they're like $9.99.
Get EA Pass. You probably would have had FIFA 20 by now. But no, we can. Hey, I will give it to you. We'll go FIFA 19. We'll play it on FIFA 19. And again, we'll let Dylan, Bradley, you want to join us and do the play-by-play with Dylan? We'll do no rules. We'll turn off all the rules so you could do it, whatever you want, Alan. And we'll see who wins this match, man. I think it'll be something. We'll stream it on all. We'll do it just like our podcast. We won't actually put it on podcast form because it probably would be boring just to hear Dylan and Alan talking about Liverpool and Tottenham players all, hour. But we'll stream it on all of our streaming options. So on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. We'll have it on there, and it'll be
that's what we're already on.
You gotta work on your Martin Tyler, Alan Smith commentaries. 3 of the best
you don't have a go.
And that completes the wonderful hat trick. It's a day he'll never forget.
But it'll only be for Harry Kane that we're gonna have a hat trick.
Yikes! If you get his ankle to work in a digital game.
So here's what we'll do. We'll do it. We'll set this up. Bradley, welcome to join Dylan in the commentary booth if you want. We'll set it up for this Saturday. So I don't know if you're busy, Bradley, but if you want to join us for that, by all means, jump on it and we'll do this. This will, instead of an Orange County versus San Diego match, we'll do a Orange County versus San Diego FIFA 20 match with Alan representing San Diego and I'll represent Orange County.
It's gonna be terrible. It's all right.
What else are they going to be watching? Anyone that wants to watch sports on Saturday, what else are they going to be watching?
I'll have to do like Liverpool, but I'll have to put like 3 at the back, so it's like a little bit more like legit as far as how San Diego rolls, and then 5 midfielders. It's gonna. I think that would be way more fun. It's like just mess with the formation.
There we go. There we go.
Orange County can do a
4-4-2 diamond.
Yeah, Orange County can
do
4-4-2 diamond.
You know what we got to do to make it more realistic to USL is we just got to literally play the worst player at each position on those 2 teams and go that way.
That might be fun. Like find
and do no rules. But then Bradley and Dylan won't know who it is that they're trying to talk about.
It says in the corner.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys, I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys because you guys are going to have the hard job of having to call this match.
Here comes Sadio Mane bounding down the left wing as a
Mane won't be playing. He's definitely not the worst player on Liverpool.
Oh, I see. You want to play the kids? Okay. All right.
Yeah, little Charlie.
Put everyone out of position.
Can you turn up the
put Harry Kane at goalkeeper?
Extra hurt.
Yeah,
no rules.
Sure. We can do whatever we want, right?
Go down like 5 stepping out of the tunnel.
That'll be the plan. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, feel free to look for our stream on Saturday night as Orange County hosts San Diego Loyal on FIFA 19, apparently, because Alan's too cheap to buy the newest one.
I am. I'm a teacher. They don't pay us very much, and now I have to like figure out a whole new like how to teach kids through the internet. That's gonna be terrible.
And how to teach band through the internet.
Right?
That's the best part.
Now he can just mute it when they play. So it works out for his favor.
Sounded great, kids. Keep it up. Now I have kids who are like, I was out Friday. I don't have my instrument. I'm like, well, it's going to be a long couple months, buddy. Because I'm going to be passing out assignments.
Let me jump back to Bradley. So if anyone is interested in representing any of our BGM friends are interested in representing their club for your Rocket League stuff, how should they reach out to you or to let you know?
Yeah, reach out to me on Twitter is the best place. I get the little notification on my phone. At PALONTHESKY, Pal on the Sky.
Perfect. What else can we talk about? I mean, just so you know, upcoming on our podcast, it's going to be random stuff. I know we are joking. We push it back because we actually had stuff to talk about this week, but probably doing a beer episode, just talking about some good beers, maybe a beer tasting episode. Who the heck knows? Bradley recommended we're going to have to probably do some cooking shows. Maybe Dylan, we'll have to get your webcam finally turned on and you can actually show off some of these recipes we've learned from some of the players on how to cook vegetables.
I'm not going to.
So hopefully you have hopefully you have a rice cooker or a veggie steamer or something like that you can use.
I'm not going to subject the person with whom I'm going to be quarantining with for the next month to asparagus.
Or maybe here's what we could do too: is maybe we can each pick an excerpt from a book and read it on our podcast for our listeners. Maybe they'll enjoy that.
No one's gonna.
Who knows?
You're not gonna read. You're gonna read Green Eggs and Ham again.
But I will put it through the translate machine like 30 times before I start
Flour
reading.
and hair. I hate it. That's a throwback to May 23rd of 2019. The date might be wrong, but it was the second to last weekend of May.
How the heck do you have the date in your mind? I want to know that.
My brain is trash.
It was that memorable.
Yeah, that's
memorable. I hate it.
So Bradley, did you know you were signing up for this type of show when you decided to join us?
Honestly, I didn't expect anything else because our shows are going to be the exact same thing. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm thinking of all the troll things that we can do over the next couple weeks.
If only we could get all the music rights and stuff, where we can get them to waive those. We could try and just rickroll every guest we get on here or something crazy funny like that. We're going to have fun until soccer comes back on. And who knows, that could, from what it sounds like now, it's sounding like it could be longer than just a month, which really sucks. But, it's sounding like it potentially can be, which we're going to keep pushing through this. We're going to go through this. We were planning on recording. We're going to do it. We're going to come up with crazy stuff. We might have to copy what Fair Weather does. We might have to copy what 1868 Weekly does. We might have to just sort of steal ideas from each other, but we're going to make this work. And we're going to keep entertaining you as best we can without soccer to actually talk about. Unless there's a random soccer league that still decided to play through all of this. I don't know if anyone has researched. Is there a soccer league that is still playing at this moment?
I know that the A-League played up until this last weekend, but then New Zealand and Australia were both saying how they're shutting down borders, so that's not a thing anymore.
So we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out with you. We're going to keep trying. This is sports right now. This is what we're doing. We're going to keep things going. Let's get into some random thoughts as I don't have any other soccer related stuff to talk to. Before we get to random thoughts, anyone else have any other soccer knowledge they want to drop?
No, there's nothing. What is life? I need meaning in my life. I currently don't have it. Please DM me.
Oh, read a book, Dylan. Come on.
I've been reading plenty of books. How do you think I have this wonderfully optimistic outlook upon life?
I will say this, Dylan. I was getting worried for you because when I was going on and going on to our text string with me, you and Alan, you were there was very few responses from you. I was actually really starting to get worried that this whole pause from sports and soccer was getting to you. Hopefully we can keep you sane and keep you happy with what we're going to do and keep this thing going. And we're giving you a chance for your very first ever play-by-play live on national streaming, whatever.
International, really. It's on Twitch.
International, yeah. People in
I'm qualified.
Afghanistan can listen if they want to.
Don't know why they'd want to deal with Americans, but hey, sure. Power to them.
That was the best way to put that. I agree.
Oh, random thought time. Let me go to you, Alan. What's your random thought of the night?
I know it's crazy out there, but there's a lot of small businesses that rely on some small margins So if you have the opportunity to, if there are restaurants that are still doing to-go orders, buy some gift certificates. I know I've seen that idea out there as well. But just remember that we're kind of all in this together, and we got to make sure we're helping each other out, picking each other up, and then if you have a friend or two that are living alone, make sure you're checking in on them and checking in on their mental health. Being isolated and socially distancing doesn't mean we can't chat with each other and hang out with each other, especially with technology now. Hop on Google Hangouts, do your thing, still have conversations, share a beer over the internet. It's the new normal for right now, but we'll get through it together. And that's why these things are important to put out there, so we can kind of keep the conversation going, keep the community going.
Let me swing it over to Bradley. Bradley, random thought for the evening.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a little lighter. So if you know anything about me and anybody else up in Reno, we are nerds for 1868 Weekly. One game we are all looking forward to is perfect for the apocalypse that is happening now, and that's Animal Crossing. That comes out this Friday. It's this little cute game where you kind of like build a city. Dylan's calling me a nerd. But you build a little city. It's cute. It's great. I don't know. It's just a good experience. And if you are more of the violent type, Doom also comes out this Friday.
So basically, you're saying you like to play Sims for kids.
It's a collectathon. Yes, it's
There you
adorable. I grew up playing it. You can judge me all you want, Dylan.
You know what? I played it at 1.2 on the GameCube, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
make
it's
fun of
cute.
you.
You can vouch for it then.
Dylan was like probably 2 years old when that one came out, so he wouldn't really know. Dylan, random thought.
Wow, I've got a few. My brain's been going overtime as I try and stay away from my parents. Where do we want to begin? To a random thought, a game suggestion, or a poetry recommendation?
I thought you would recommend Infinite Jest. We have the time.
Just do whatever,
Nice.
Dylan.
All right, everyone. I challenge you to read War and Peace over the next 7 days because we have nothing better to do. You don't have time, trust me. No matter what you do, you will not have time. My poetry recommendation is Robert Frost's "The Sound of Trees," which the first 5 lines sum it all up, like any good poem. But it's a good one to think about. Maybe some of you are in an area that's a little more open right now, and without cars driving by, it's nice and quiet. That's not me. I live right off of a major road, so I'll never get to experience that. My other my game recommendation is Cities Skylines, to waste all of your time. Brad's now calling me a nerd, which is very valid. This game is the worst game I've ever played. I cannot stop playing it. Please someone free me, and or please someone send me photos of your city that you're growing. You'll be able to find me on Twitter later on when we all tell it. And finally, my last random thought is truly obnoxious, but yes, I cannot count, Ray. When have we ever done anything right on this podcast? With all this social distancing and all this cleaning, are strip clubs clean?
Jeez.
It's random, no?
That is random. Maybe go out on social media or go on our Twitter account, tweet at us, and answer Dylan's question. Are strip clubs clean? He wants to know.
Are strip clubs now
so anyone
clean?
willing to go out and test it out? Apparently, if you're in Orange County, you can't do it. You can't do this test because apparently we're all on lockdown. But if anyone wants to research this for Dylan and get back to us, let us know. Maybe go there, lick the pole or
what? No.
I don't know. You're asking the question, Dylan.
I just want to know your rapid fire thought. Are they clean, Bradley? Yes or no?
Up here,
you want
in Reno?
us to answer?
Yeah. Well, and then other
Nothing's
people too.
clean in Reno.
Yeah. I mean, if we can't trust poker chips up here, can we really trust other places?
Glitter bars.
Fair.
Sure, call it that.
What are your thoughts, Alan? Mr. Teacher.
I mean, do they have an A rating? I mean, Probably. I mean, if they're serving $2 steaks, how dirty
Are
can
they
they really be?
Are they wearing gloves when they are doing whatever it is they're doing at that place? Then there's your answer. Jeez, Dylan.
What kind of
That's a
strip
lot of
clubs are you
gloves.
going
What
to that
a-
you need gloves?
The
No
most
touching.
random thought ever award goes to Dylan. We're gonna have to put that on our Orange and Black SoccerCast awards this year. Dylan, you're a shoo-in for that. Really quick, and I'm gonna give a shout out to one of our listeners, Larry from County Coalition. He wanted to sort of spread the word on this, and I know a lot of retailers are doing this, but their Target announced today that they are going to be actually opening an hour early on Wednesdays for elderlies and people that maybe have health issues or whatnot, to give them an opportunity to go into the store without the mass crowd to try and grab what supplies they need. Now, it doesn't mean the supplies will be actually in stock, as many of you have gone around and have noticed. Yeah, I said elderlies, you know, it is what I said. But you know, props to places like Target. I know other places are doing that. I just don't have the information in front of me. But you know, any way that we can help those that maybe can't deal with this type of pandemic. I know there was a mention of anyone that maybe is just sort of alone, go check in on them. If anyone has the time, has the ability to help out, and if you have an extra, you know, few rolls of toilet paper and someone is really in need, try and share that. Don't hoard all these things. Don't take everything. There's no need for you to have 1 year supply of toilet paper. There's no need to have for you to have 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer like some dude in Tennessee or Kentucky has. Share, help everyone. Do what you can to help your neighbors and not think about just yourself. You know, there's no need for the crazy panic. Yes, you want to be prepared, but there's no need for you to have that much toilet paper, that much hand sanitizer, that much of whatever else is that you need. Make sure everyone else has the ability to access it, so that way we all can.
And Ray, on that note, if you're buying like cereal and stuff, keep in mind when it says like Wix, that's food stamps. So if you don't need that brand, try to buy some different brand that isn't. So people who are on those food programs have supplies that they can actually buy, because they can't buy stuff that isn't notated that way. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping around. So instead of getting Cheerios for breakfast, maybe you get something that they can't get, and your kids might like it because it's probably sugary and terrible for them. But that way we can spread the love around as far as what they can get.
And by all means, I'm going to say this, and I know we're a family show, and I know we tend to be really great. I'm not going to use any bad language, but I'm going to just say a big middle finger to those of you that are trying to profit off of this. You are the ones that are causing all this panic and all this craziness, and that are making it hard for those that really need things and they can't find things at stores and food and all this fun stuff. So I hate to be that person, but I'm going to have to do it because it's frustrating. Really quick, Bradley, let's get back to some happy stuff. Let's share with our listeners if they want to follow you, if they want to listen to you in your podcast, where they can find all that stuff.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, like I said earlier, at Pal in the Sky, and you can find 1868 Weekly at 1868 Weekly, basically anywhere.
Basically anywhere. Dylan, what about you?
You guys can all find me on Twitter at wash your hands and don't touch your face. Just kidding. It's actually at OCSE_Dylan. You can also find me on Reddit /u/OCSE_Dylan.
Alan?
DM me if you want to play a game.
Alan, what about you?
You can find me at @Underwood48 on the Twitter machines.
Perfect. And you can find me on Twitter at DJ Ray Samora. You can also find the podcast on Twitter at OCSE_SoccerCast. Look for us on Facebook. Just search Orange and Black SoccerCast. You'll find us. Go to our website, OCSCpodcast.com. You can find all of our episodes, any news that we post, any information like that. If you like what you've heard today and you want to go back and listen to some of our older episodes, you can find all that there as well. You can also find our podcast anywhere podcasts are found. I want to thank our guest, Robbie Kiernan, for taking his time out this evening to join us and speak with us and share some stuff with our listeners. Also, Bradley Polanski up there Polanski. I keep saying Polanski. I don't know why
It's
I say
all
it like that.
good.
Bradley Polanski up there in Reno from 1868 Weekly for taking some time and spending some time with us. I'm sure we're going to be doing this more often. If you want any of us to join you guys on 1868 Weekly, I'm sure Dylan and Alan will be willing to take their time to do that, especially Dylan, because apparently he doesn't have anything else to do. For Dylan, for Alan, I want to say thank you. Also, I'm going to hand it off to you, Alan, really quick to do the Icarus FC plug, because I don't have that in front of me, and you probably have it memorized by now. He doesn't.
Tired of those same cookie cutter kits by Nike and Adidas?
He has.
Check out Icarus FC for all of your kit needs from Icarus FC. Put me on the spot hardcore. If you'd let me know, I would have totally Googled this. Or looked
we're
it up
doing
in
the
my email address
BGNFM.com
because it's
proud
it's
right now, Alan.
Because it's like it's like right here. Hold on. Scrolling, panning, sponsorship rules. All right, here we go. Tired of the same old uniforms and cookie cut templates from Nike and Adidas? Looking for a unique, completely custom kit for your youth club, Sunday league squad, adult, or even pro team? Icarus FC can help you create the kit of your dreams at an affordable price. Let them help you design your new custom kit today at IcarusFC.com.
And we will eventually get that thrown into our recorded outro. I'm working on getting that done, so we'll have that soon, so you won't have to do that anymore, Alan. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out. And our outro is not playing. All right, let's try this one more time. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out.
You have been listening to the Orange and Black SoccerCast. For the latest Orange County SC news and information, visit our website, ocscpodcast.com. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com.